Shroomraver here, and today we are back for another episode of the Nickname Academy. This is the series where I'm going to go through every Pokemon, all the way from Bulbasaur right the way through to, I suppose it's Eternatus now, and give them all nicknames, and when future generations come out, we're going to do them as well. Yes, indeed, I've had to workshop that intro, given that last time I started really doing these properly, it was back when Gen 8 hadn't even come out yet. But now, of course, it has, and we're in this room. Yes, so, last we left off was with Shedinja, and we're back cracking on with Generation 3, and we're going to start off this video with the next Pokemon in the list, and that is going to be Whismur. Yes, Whismur is going to be called Ariana, and this is indeed named after Ariana Grande. Now, the reason for that is Ariana Grande is like 5'3", she's kind of short, as people go. So much like Whismur, you know, they're both quite short, but they have very powerful voices. So that is why Whismur is going to be nicknamed after her. Evolving from Whismur, we have Loudred, with one of the very silly names that I've come up with. It's nicknamed 5.62. Very, very specific reason for this. And for this nickname, we have to look to hair care products, because of course we do. Now, in terms of hair care products, the one we're looking at today is going to be made by Garnier. It's a hair care and shower product company thing. They have a specific product with a very long and convoluted name. It's officially called Garnier Nutrice Ultra Permanent Hair Dye Vibrant Red 5.62. That is the big old name they have on the bottle, I guess. And yeah, you know, it's a hair dye, a shower applicated hair dye, I guess. I don't know. I don't dye my hair. I never have done. But it has its own sort of selling name, and the selling name for this particular product is Loud Red. It's obviously a very sort of vibrant red hair dye. But yeah, Loud Red is number 5.62 apparently, so that is why Loud Red is going to be called 5.62. Yeah, a bit of a silly one there, but is that my phone going? I think it might be. We'll ignore it for now. Yes, that is why Loud Red is going to be nicknamed that way. Final Pokemon in that evolutionary line is Exploud, and Exploud is going to very simply be called Gain. Reason for this, it takes two particular sort of uses of the word Gain. First off, you have Experience Gain. EXP Gain is very common to all the Pokemon games, as we well know. But also Gain in terms of music and sound is sort of an input to a channel or amp which signifies loudness and how loud something is. So you've got EXP Gain and Loudness Gain. So EXP, Loud, both come with Gain, so that is why we've mashed them together and just given the same definition of two words. Exploud is going to be called Gain. Coming up after Exploud, we have Makuhita. Makuhita, going to be called Amazon, named after the forest. Unfortunately, not for a particularly good reason. The Amazon rainforest is a great sufferer of deforestation, as I'm sure most people are aware. And it's something that, you know, as a world, we really need to sort of fix if we can. But the reason Makuhita is going to be called deforestation is because in the Pokédex entry for Makuhita, it says that it toughens itself up by hitting or snapping trees, which is essentially what deforestation is. It's snapping down trees and cutting them down for lumber use elsewhere. But basically, yeah, it destroys trees to train itself, and that's really what's happening in the Amazon. So yeah, Makuhita going to be nicknamed Amazon. Let me just scroll up to the next page, because that is where our next Pokemon on the list is going to be on my list, and that is Makuhita's evolution, Hariyama. Now, Hariyama is going to be called Mind Crush. Not for any reasons to do with its psychic abilities, of which I believe it has none. But for this we have to look to anime, and for this we have to look to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, it's not an anime I've ever actually seen, so I'm not sure if this is present in the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. What I have seen is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, which is quite frankly hilarious. If you haven't seen it, and especially if you are a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!, highly recommend you go and watch it, because it's fantastic. But in this, you know, sort of, for viewers of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you'll know that, like, when Yugi does his sort of badass thing, he puts his hand up like this. Now, I don't know if he does this in the actual anime, but in the real one, in the Abridged series, he puts his hand up and it cuts to the vanquished enemy victim, and sort of the screen shatters like a shattered mirror, and he sits there and just goes, Mind Crush. Now, I'm not sure if that's in the actual anime, but it's certainly in the abridged series, and Hariyama is always seen like with his palms up like that, which is much what Yugi's doing in the abridged series of Yu-Gi-Oh! When he says the words Mind Crush, so that is why Hariyama is going to be nicknamed Mind Crush. Following up from Hariyama, we have little baby Azurill. Now, Azurill is going to be nicknamed Tailgate. Now, this is not from like the tailgate parties you have before like NFL games, which I believe are a thing. But instead, we're going to look to the other definition of tailgating during driving. So, if you tailgate someone, it basically means you're driving too close behind them. And if people who are drivers, I'm personally not, have probably experienced this, it's quite annoying. And yeah, it's tailgating, also known as to sit on someone's tail, is what you're doing, because you're right up behind them, you're right on their ass, and it's called sitting on someone's tail. And as you'll know, that's what Azurill does. As its sprite says, it's just sitting there bouncing on its tail, so it sits on its tail. It's effectively tailgating itself, as it were. So yeah, Azurill going to be nicknamed Tailgate. Next up, we have Nosepass. Nosepass is going to be nicknamed Gandalf. Now, Gandalf was a name I used to use for Shiftry way back in the day, and that was just because of the beard, but here it's for a much different name. Gandalf has many memorable quotations from the Lord of the Rings books and movies. The one we're going to look at today is when they're in the Mines of Moria, if you remember, and Gandalf, he doesn't remember the way, he sort of sits there. There's a good sort of meme selection where he's like, I have no memory of this place. But then, like, later on he goes, oh, it was that way. And I think Merry's like, oh, he's remembered. And he goes, no, but the air doesn't smell so foul down here. When in doubt, Peregrine Took, always follow your nose. And Nosepass is a combination of a nose and a compass. So he's literally using a compass point, but his nose. So he's effectively following his nose, much like Gandalf gives as advice. So that is why Nosepass is going to be called Gandalf. Up after Nosepass, we have Skitty. Little Skitty is going to be called Custard. Now, this is named after a children's TV show in the UK called Rhubarb, spelt, it's not a typo on the slide, it's actually spelt R-O-O-B-A-R-B, but it's called Rhubarb and Custard, from, I believe, 2005, if my research is correct. And, yeah, Custard is a character in this little children's TV show, and quite simply, Custard is a pink cat. That's what Skitty is. Skitty's a pink cat, Custard's a pink cat, Skitty's going to be called Custard. Very nice and simple, but Skitty evolves into Delcatty. Delcatty, one of the least used Pokemon, commonly seen as one of the worst that can go, really. But Delcatty is going to be called Drifter, and this is because in the Pokédex entry for Delcatty, it says that it has no permanent lair or nest, and it just sort of moves around from day to day to find a place to sleep. And that's effectively exactly what a drifter does. Drifters have no sort of set abode. They just sort of drift around and find where they're going to live, you know, hand to mouth, day to day. So yeah, Delcatty kind of does the same thing. So that's why Delcatty is going to be called Drifter. Looking at the timing that I've got left, we've got plenty of time. So let's move on to Sableye. Sableye is going to be called Bartolomeo. And this is another anime reference. It's a reference to One Piece, in fact. And Bartolomeo, he's a character in One Piece. His power, he's got one of those devil fruit powers where he sort of crosses his fingers and forms like a barrier, almost like Mr. Mime does. But that's not the reason we're looking at it. Basically, the reason that he's going to call Bartolomeo is his main character sort of feature of this guy Bartolomeo is he's just desperately annoying. Everybody who encounters him finds him really annoying. And, you know, that's what Sableye does in battle. Sableye was the OG prankster annoyer. And everyone just gets really peed off with it. So yeah, that's why Sableye's going to be called Bartolomeo, because they're both irritating as heck. After Sableye, we have Mawile. Mawile is going to be called, and I have to lean in to make sure I'm saying this correctly, Ceratostoma. I think that's how you say it. And it is named after Ceratostoma foliatum. I think, again, I'm saying that correctly. Now, that is the Latin genus family name for a type of sea snail. And obviously Mawile is neither associated with the sea or snails, but this sea snail is called the leafy hornmouth. And Mawile's sort of mouth at the back, you'll see this in the Pokédex entry for it, it's not actually a mouth, it's actually horns that go sort of around the back of its head to form what looks like a mouth. So effectively it is a horn mouth. That's what the mouth is, it's horns. So yeah, it's going to be named after the leafy hornmouth, so we're going to call Mawile Ceratostoma after that. Very nice indeed. Moving on to another evolutionary line that starts with Aron. Aron is going to be called Swanson. Now this is named after the wonderful Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation, a great TV series if you haven't seen it. And to be honest, I haven't seen all of it, but I highly recommend it. It's very funny. Ron Swanson is a wonderful character in Parks and Rec, and he's very much seen as like an alpha male. He's not in a sort of chatty, like, oh look at me, I'm the big I am kind of way, but like he's sort of alpha male-ish. He does a lot of woodwork. He eats a lot of rare meat. It's this kind of thing that's seen as alpha male-ish. He doesn't big it up too much, but that's kind of how he's seen. So he's like the alpha Ron. He's the A Ron, as it were. Aron, A Ron, yeah. There we go. Aron going to be Swanson. That was a difficult one for me to think up, so I had to think a bit outside the box. Speaking of, we've got Lairon, the evolution of Aron, which is going to be called Popeye. Named after Popeye the Sailor Man, who's got the big cartoon massive muscles. I don't. But yeah, Popeye, as you'll know, for people who've seen it or read it or anything, in order to get like his big muscles and get all strong, he downs like a can of spinach. Spinach, very high in iron. Lairon in the Pokédex entry says that it eats iron ore to become stronger. And that's exactly what Popeye does. He eats spinach, which is rich in iron, to become strong. So, Lairon, going to be nicknamed Popeye. Moving on to Aggron. This is one of my stupider ones, but I love it. Aggron is going to be called Car Park, and this actually comes from one of those ridiculous dad jokes I've heard. And the joke goes, what's big and grey and can't climb trees? A car park. Technically not wrong. But yeah, Aggron's going to be called Car Park because it's big, it's grey, and it can't climb trees. It's a really stupid one, but I love it. And this one works for the Mega Evolution of Aggron as well, because it's just a bigger, bulkier, grey, also silverish version of Aggron. So yeah, they're both going to be called Car Park for that very, very stupid reason. Next up we have Meditite. Meditite is going to be called Alistair, spelt exactly as it is on the screen. This is named after Alistair Black. Alistair Black is a wrestler. He was in NXT at the time of thinking up this nickname, but now he's fully in WWE. Now the reason why Meditite's going to be called Alistair, named after Alistair Black, for a couple of reasons. Alistair Black is seen as one of sort of the purest strikers with feet. With his feet and kicking in terms of the WWE. So going off of Meditite's ability Pure Power, that's exactly what Alistair Black has, but also he's got this this kind of habit of he'll go for a big like aerial move, and if someone moves out of the way, he very quickly sort of flips over and just goes into this cross-legged, seated, almost meditating position. And it's kind of like a sort of, alright, come on then, what have you got kind of deal. But that's exactly the pose that Meditite has in pretty much every game you'll ever play of Pokemon. So yeah, Meditite for those reasons is going to be named Alistair. Next up we have Medicham. Medicham, this is one of my oldest nicknames, one of the first proper nicknames I ever thought up for a Pokemon. Dr. Pig. The reason is you take those two aspects of its name, Medicham, Medic, Doctor, Ham, Pig. Dr. Pig, Medicham, done. And it's the same for the Mega as well, no real need to fix what ain't broke as it were. So yeah, Medicham and Mega Medicham both will be called Dr. Pig. It's stupid but I love it. Next up we have Electrike. Electrike is going to be named Jorvik. It's either Jorvik or Jorvik. I think it's probably Jorvik to be fair. Now Jorvik is a company based in York in the United Kingdom, which makes tricycles, among other things. And yeah, I'm not talking like the sort of little kiddie tricycles, I'm talking the big trikes. And it makes electric trikes as well, which are obviously a bit more environmentally friendly than petrol or diesel driven ones, I guess. But yeah, it makes electric trikes, which are Electrikes. Electrike. Jorvik. Done. Evolving from Electrike, we have, checking my timing, all good, Manectric. Manectric is going to be called Electrotherapy. Now, electrotherapy is that kind of medical application of like you get those weird little circles, those pads that you put on the body with wires coming out of them, and they kind of stimulate muscle relaxation, I guess, and recovery through the application of low-level electricity. And in Manectric's Pokédex entry, it says that it uses electricity to recover soreness in its body, which is exactly what electrotherapy aims to do. So there, very simple nickname, Manectric Electrotherapy. And that one, once again, is going to work for the Mega too. No real reason I could see to change that nickname for the Mega. Trying to think of something to do with Electric Mountains, but I couldn't because of its back. But yeah, we're going to stick with Electrotherapy for the Mega version as well. Now to finish things off, we have some more electric types. First up, we have Plusle. Plusle is going to be called Meditation, because meditation is a way that you're supposed to be able to bring positive energy into your body, and Plusle is based on protons, which are positive energy. So there we go, very simple, Plusle going to be meditation. And in the same vein, but slightly differently, we have, last off on this list for this video today, Minun. Minun is going to be called Work, because work gives you negative energy. It's care of quite a few people who've suggested similar kind of things. I just went with the simple base word work because it just makes you feel a bit negative energy sometimes of just, oh, I've got to go into work today again. So yeah, very simple. Working off Plusle's one, slightly different. We have Minun going to be called Work. So yes, that is going to wrap things up from this particular episode of the Nickname Academy. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. As always, leave your nicknames for these Pokemon that we've covered in today's video down in the comment section below. I love reading your suggestions for nicknames and what you like to name these Pokemon. I love seeing everyone else's thought process. Mine can be a bit strange and off quirky and weird. God, I sound like a base level Tinder profile. Oh my god, I'm so quirky and unique and strange. But some of these nicknames are, but I love seeing your nicknames as well. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic to read what you guys think of mine and also what you nickname your Pokemon. But yeah, as I say, that's going to wrap things up from here. Next time, we're going to be kicking off with Volbeat, as you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen. But yes, that's going to be it. Thank you all very much for watching for a final time. And remember, every Pokemon deserves a nickname, so make sure you give them one. But yes, I'm going to get out of here. My final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.